यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्र शतश्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की श्रीमद्-भगवद-गीता की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 6, Sankhya Yoga, text number 3. I'll read it by myself. Arurukshor muner yogam karma karanam uchyate yogarudasya tasyaiva shamak karanam uchyate. Word to word meaning. Arurukshoho, of one who has just begun yoga. Munehe, of the sage. Yogam, the eightfold yoga system. Karma, karanam, the cause. Uchyate is said to be yoga, eightfold yoga. Arudasya, one who has attained. Tasya, his. Eva, certainly. Shamaha, cessation of all material activities. Karanam, the cause. Uchyate is said to be. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. For one who is a neophyte in the eightfold yoga system, work is said to be the means, and for one who has already attained to yoga, cessation of all material activities is said to be the means. Kindly repeat this translation. For one who is a neophyte in the eightfold yoga system, work is said to be the means, and for one who has already attained to yoga, cessation of all material activities is said to be the means. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The process of linking oneself with the Supreme is called yoga, which may be compared to a ladder for attaining the topmost spiritual realization. This ladder begins from the lowest material condition of the living entity and rises up to perfect self-realization in pure spiritual life. According to various elevations, different parts of the ladder are known by different names. But all in all, the complete ladder is called yoga and may be divided into three parts, namely Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. The beginning of the ladder is called the Yoga Ruruksha stage, and the highest rung is called Yoga Rudha. Concerning the eightfold yoga system, attempts in the beginning to enter into meditation through regulative principles of life and practice of different sitting postures, which are more or less bodily exercises, are considered fruitive material activities. All such activities lead to achieving perfect mental equilibrium to control the senses. When one is accomplished in the practice of meditation, he ceases all disturbing mental activities. A Krishna conscious person is, however, situated from the beginning on the platform of meditation because he always thinks of Krishna, and being constantly engaged in the service of Krishna, he is considered to have ceased all material activities. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesh Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shrivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this chapter is talking about the Ashtanga Yoga system, where by practicing the eightfold yoga system, one can experience unlimited happiness. So in this world, all of us, we are seeking unlimited happiness. Correct? I don't think there is anybody who is working very hard so that they feel miserable in life. We are all working very hard so that we can experience unlimited happiness. And in the Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna is giving us this clue as to how we can attain this unlimited eternal happiness that we are all seeking for. So here the process of Ashtanga Yoga is recommended, where there are 8 stages. So in the first stage, for practicing this Ashtanga Yoga, one has to realize that no matter what effort we put in this world to satisfy our senses, we cannot be happy. Correct? We all would have experienced. We are all trying to satisfy our senses in different ways in this world, correct? Somebody is trying to satisfy his tongue by eating very wonderful food stuff. So he's going to different hotels, trying to taste different kinds of food. So he might have a lot of money, there might be so many different types of hotels, but how much can a person eat? Is it not? You eat once, you eat twice, third time, the same thing feels very, very distasteful. Correct? And this is true of all sorts of happiness which people experience in this world. Even people who take so much pleasure out of professional success, relational success, or success in terms of achieving so much wealth, they cannot experience the same happiness by being in that position. That is why they also want to take a break sometimes. Correct? Somebody might be a very successful lawyer, very sought after lawyer, but all these lawyers and judges, they are waiting when this summer vacation will come and we can go away from all this work. Similarly, you see the most successful entrepreneurs, they'll be running their big businesses, but they feel, no, I need a break. This is getting too much for me. So I need some change. So like this, there are people who are shifting their positions. That is, sometimes they are engaged in doing work, they experience some happiness, then after a period of time, boredom or fatigue sets in, they want to do something different. Then they try to do something different, again they come back to what they were doing earlier. So like this, somebody who has been doing this for a long time, he slowly realizes that there is something wrong in what I am doing. And he understands that the nature of this world is such that whatever I try to do in terms of satisfying my senses, I will not be happy. So therefore, he realizes that he can be happy only if he detaches himself from all material activities. And such people take to this process of Ashtanga Yoga. So in this Ashtanga Yoga, the first step is this process of some physical postures. Like you would have seen, our typical idea of yoga is somebody is going to a secluded place, he is performing so many asanas, regulating his breathing. So all these steps, what is the purpose of this? The purpose of this is to keep our senses away from the sense objects. But here Krishna is saying that this keeping ourselves away from sense objects is for the neophyte. Neophyte means for somebody who is just beginning this process of yoga. Because simply by not doing any activity, one cannot be happy for a long time. Because by nature, we are living entities. We are spirit soul. Spirit soul means there has to be some activity, correct? Can a body which doesn't have spirit soul be active? Dead body only can have no activity, correct? So the nature of every living entity is that it requires some activity. But that activity should not be an activity of the material world. It has to be a completely spiritual activity. So in this process of Eightfold Yoga, Krishna is saying, for one who is a neophyte in the Eightfold Yoga system, this work is said to be the means. Work means all these asanas. By performing this, what is happening? He is first stopping all his material activities. And then after stopping these material activities, the ultimate stage of this Eightfold Yoga is called Samadhi. Samadhi is a state where he is able to connect himself with the Supreme Lord by meditating on him. After detaching himself from all activities, he is going to a secluded place, practicing celibacy, and then he is meditating on the Supreme Lord within his heart, and by that process of meditation, when he gets connected with the Lord, he is said to be in a state of Samadhi. So what is this state of Samadhi? That Krishna describes here in the Bhagavad-Gita, what happens when he attains the state of samadhi is that this stage of perfection is called trance or samadhi, where one's mind is completely restrained from material mental activities by practice of yoga. So he is not doing any material activity, and in that joyous stage, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness and enjoys himself through transcendental senses. So in that state, one is experiencing complete happiness. He is not disturbed by whatever is happening around him. No food, no water, no sleep, but still that person is happy. But in this world, everybody is thinking, if it is Sunday, if I sleep for 10 hours, that is my recipe for happiness. Entire week I have not slept. Boss has given so much work. Now Saturday or Sunday has come. Saturday is for sleeping. Sunday is for washing clothes and getting ready to go to the next day. This is our idea of happiness in the material world. But spiritual world is ulta. Spiritual world means happiness is characterized by how less a person is sleeping. And he is able to work more hard. He needs less sleep, less food, less satisfaction of the senses, and he is more happy. But you see our lives, we are trying to increase everything. Increase our eating, correct? Increase our sleeping, increase our sex life, and try to get more and more wealth. But despite that, we are not happy. But the stage of samadhi is ulta. And in this process of Ashtanga Yoga, they are saying that it is possible to reach this stage, but for that first you start restraining your senses. You go away from whatever you are doing, you leave everything. Go to a secluded place in the forest, and there you stop doing all your activities, stop eating food, stop drinking water, eventually stop breathing also. Everything you should regulate. And then when you are able to meditate on the super soul within your heart, then you can experience this eternal happiness. So how many of us can do this today? Nobody can do that. But Srila Prabhupada, he said, in the middle of the city, where we are surrounded by all sorts of sense objects, a person can attain samadhi. In the city, where there is so much traffic, there are no forests, there is no secluded place, even in the city it is possible to attain samadhi. Because this is the process given by the Bhagavad-Gita, by Krishna. Arjuna also, when he was frustrated being in the midst of this battle, he was surrounded by all his relatives, he had to perform his duty of fighting, but he thought, by fighting I cannot be happy. Let me also withdraw all my senses. Let me also take sannyasa. Let me go to the forest. Then I will be happy. This is what Arjuna thought. But by listening to the Bhagavad Gita, we see that Arjuna, he became a great devotee by fighting for Krishna. So that is why here it is said, Krishna is saying that this controlling of senses is actually not a very advanced way of attaining to the state of samadhi. For an advanced person, cessation of material activities is said to be the means. He has to just stop doing material activities and engage himself in spiritual activities, activities connected to Krishna. So, the process of Bhakti Yoga, as Prabhupada is explaining here, there is something called a yoga ladder. Yoga means connecting ourselves with Krishna. And there are different methods of connecting. There is Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. So, Prabhupada is saying this Jnana Yoga is the lower step of the ladder. Dhyana Yoga is little higher. But the highest step is Bhakti Yoga. You take Bhakti Yoga, directly you can connect with Krishna. So, this process of Krishna consciousness, it does away with all the lower stages, all the lower ladders, and brings us directly in connection with Krishna. So even though somebody is a beginner, he has no knowledge, of matter and spirit. He is not capable of restricting his senses, going to a secluded place and performing meditation. Even such a person can attain perfection or come to the state of samadhi simply by engaging himself in the service of Krishna. Simply by engaging himself in the service of Krishna. Because once you start serving Krishna, then you are automatically on the spiritual platform. So there was a very nice instance where in Los Angeles, Prabhupada had just begun this program of book distribution. Prabhupada had started publishing his books, and he had told his devotees that you go out and start distributing these books. So, devotees sent a report that, what was happening in this Los Angeles temple. So, morning, immediately after their breakfast, devotees would go out in batches, take a lot of books and go to different places. And one devotee was distributing so many books that he got so encouraged, he forgot to come back to the temple for lunch. And he said, so many books are getting distributed. Because when you're distributing books, what are you doing? You're talking about Krishna continuously. You please read this book, Krishna tells this, Krishna tells that. You're only talking about Krishna. And then he forgot it is lunchtime. Then he was distributing, it has become night, 8 o'clock. And then he thought, oh, it's almost 8 o'clock, let me go to the temple. All the other devotees would have come back. So he had not taken lunch, not taken dinner. He came back to the temple thinking he will be the last person to come. So he opened the temple, went inside, he saw nobody has come. Then slowly he waited. After 1 hour, one by one devotees are coming. They are also going out for big distribution. They have also not come back for lunch. They have also not come back for dinner. And everybody, and this devotee sees he is the first person to come. And night 10 o'clock, 10:30, devotees are coming back. And then they are talking how ecstatic they are feeling by distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. So much so that they have forgotten their need to eat food, take rest, and all of this. This is only what Krishna is describing in the Bhagavad-Gita as the state of samadhi, where a person is enjoying himself not through his material senses, but through his transcendental senses. So, Prabhupada has given us so many ways and means by which we can experience that state of samadhi being in this very world, this very place, this very city. In different cities, he engaged his devotees in distributing these books, and devotees would say how they experience that happiness. Because continuously they are talking about Krishna, distributing these books, and experiencing so much happiness when others are also taking these books. So Prabhupada made a statement here when he understood this. He says that one should engage in practical service to the Lord in our Krishna consciousness movement. All our activities are concentrated upon distributing Krishna literature. This is very important. One may approach any person and induce him to read Krishna literature so that in the future he may also become a devotee. Such activities will always remind the devotees of the Lord's lotus feet. By fully concentrating on distributing books for Krishna, one is fully absorbed in Krishna. This is samadhi. So you see, what a wonderful way Prabhupada has given for us also to attain this state of samadhi. We don't have to go to a forest. We don't have to control our senses and stop all our activities. Just we have to be engaged in talking about Krishna, trying to distribute his books, and we can also attain that state of samadhi. So these are some of the points from today's verse. We'll stop here. Srimad-Bhagavad-Gita ki, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So before we go on to the Shayanarti, just a small announcement about the book marathon program. So today we have set up a registration desk outside. So devotees who wish to participate in this book marathon, they can go outside, they can fill this form, and they can get it signed by whichever devotee they are in touch with. They can take books from the temple, sell it, and then deposit the money back. And to encourage participants to distribute more books, we have this book marathon program. These are all the different dates. 24th November, we are inaugurating this program. You can take books till 19 January. After 19 January, we will not be issuing any books. And on 26 January, you all have to return whatever books are not sold and settle whatever amounts are there. And on 9th February, we will have a prize distribution ceremony. There are very interesting prizes for all of you to win. Nareshwar Prabhu, if you can just show that. Yes. So you can distribute books as a team or as individuals. So you can have team maximum up to 5 people in a team. And we have first, second and third prizes for all the winners. And then every week we will be announcing these milestone prizes. So we have 9 milestones, and for every milestone that every team is able to reach, there are some interesting prizes like religious paraphernalia, books, some nice devotional caps, bags. Then we also have redeemable yatra coupons. So whenever we go for yatras, you can use those coupons and pay for the yatras and come with all of us for different yatras. So I encourage all of you to enthusiastically participate in this marathon and try to distribute as many books as possible. Just to share some statistics, last year we distributed books worth more than 10 lakhs, and we had teams. The first prize, group team had distributed books worth almost 1.5 lakhs, and second team had distributed almost books worth 1 lakh, and so on. So you all know what are the benchmarks there for all of you to reach if you want to come first, second or third. So give your time and energy for this, and you will all experience Krishna's reciprocation. Bolo Srila Prabhupada Book Marathon ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. Now we'll have the Shainarthi, and then all coupon holders can proceed after Shainarthi to the Annadanam hall for Prasadam. Those who don't have coupons can purchase coupons from the Gita counter. Thank you. Hare Krishna.